and welcome to the next episode of Bisportuals, your new favorite sports podcast. I'm your host, Ryan.
I'm Cameron.
And I'm Kyle.
Thank you all so much for joining us on this momentous episode. We've reached a new milestone here in Bisportuals. This is episode 10, the big 1-0, the first double digit. We did it, boys. Congrats to us. We've lasted. We've made it this far. And to celebrate, we've got a couple of special surprises for this episode specifically, one of which I'm going to tell you about right now, and then the other, you'll just have to wait and see. Well, you'll see it because it's in the title, because we like to credit people, but you'll just have to wait and see. But first surprise, with episode 10, that big milestone, we've decided it is time to get in the social media game, ladies and gents, and so we are officially launching our accoutrement of Bisportuals social media accounts.
Go Zuckerberg,
So you can...
go Elon, go Zuckerberg, go Elon.
So you can find us on X, the Everything app.
Yes.
Also known as Twitter.com.
Account.
And then you'll also be able to find us on Instagram. We're already out on YouTube. We already upload all our video content to YouTube, as well as you can get the video streams on Spotify. But now you'll on X and X the Everything app and Instagram, you'll be able to see some possible clips content, some teasers for upcoming episodes, all that kind of thing.
And I'm
Just
gonna
all
run the
bangers.
X.com
Yeah.
one.
Yes.
Go for it.
The X.com account, it's X.com, so you can get a little more, it's X.com. It's Twitter. What else do you need to say? It's the Everything app. But, well, go ahead, give us a follow on those. While there will also be, accompanying the release of this episode, you'll also see another post that includes all of our tags and whatnot for those social media accounts, so you won't have the excuse that you missed it. We'll get to the second surprise later in the episode, but first off, it's free agency, baby. The NFL free agency period has officially opened up. Legal tampering was on Monday. Today, as we're recording this on Wednesday, March 12th, was the first official day of free agency where teams could truly release and all of the signings and whatnot. And boy, oh boy, there were some movers and some shakers, including, like we will get to eventually, the Minnesota Vikings. They gave us a scare on that day one, but boy, did they come through on day two.
He decided to wake up early and make some phone calls.
Mm-hmm. Well, Kwesi knew he had to get in the kitchen because Kwesi fucking cooked. That's all I'll say for now. We let him cook. But we'll get to the QB carousel as well. Some major QB movement with some teams, especially out west. But talking about QBs, evaluating quarterbacks is a very difficult job. It's the most important position. If you get the quarterback position right, everything else on your team composition just kind of falls into place. Teams are always looking to try to find that guy who can come in and make their team, elevate their team, be a force multiplier on the offensive side of the ball. But we don't have to do that because we don't get paid enough to do that. So we get to do silly things like build the perfect QB in a lab. But, with the economy and everything that it is right now, egg prices, oh my God. We can't just all get the perfect QB. So we got to take turns. That's why we are doing a build a QB draft, snake draft. We are going to try to draft the perfect NFL QB using one of the following traits from any active NFL quarterback. The traits are passing, pretty self-explanatory for an NFL QB, got to be able to throw the ball downfield. Running, that includes both designed run, but also scrambling ability. How dangerous are they with their feet? Football IQ, not only their ability to make the right reads at the right time in the offense, but also some things like pocket presence. Can they feel the game and the play develop around them? We've got body at number 4. How built are they? Are they slender? Are they fast? Are they stocky? Can they truck a motherfucker? All of these are important in different ways. And then possibly the most important category of them all, how hot are they? Attractiveness. Because you could have a great NFL QB, but if he ugly as shit, you don't want him sitting behind the podium post-game.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You're saying he doesn't want his hands on his balls?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Mm-hmm.
No. You don't want that's a huge chemistry issue if your quarterback is fugly. So it's important. It's critical. I've randomly decided the orders for the snake draft. The winner for first pick of the Build a QB NFL draft is Cameron Gertensen. Cameron will pick first, then it'll be Kyle, and then I will pick last. This is a snake draft, so at the end of the first round, I pick last. I will pick first to start the second round, and we'll reverse the order until everybody has picked their instances. So, Cameron, do you want to go ahead and get us started with your first pick?
Yeah, I think since you granted me the grace of having this first overall pick, I'm gonna go with the most important category and the undisputed best player in that category. I'm gonna pick Jimmy Garoppolo for attractiveness.
Ooh.
Nobody can match those smoldering good looks. His face was sculpted and fucking chiseled by fucking Michelangelo type shit.
That guy is a marble statue of a man.
Yeah.
That's an elite pickup. I can't lie.
That was my number one on my big board. So this is gonna be a tough rebound here. But with my first pick, I agree that attractiveness is arguably the most important aspect in this draft. So I need to lock down my answer here. And I am gonna go with a guy after my own heart. Maybe some flow going on. He may not be the best quarterback in general, but he's got some good attributes in the facial category. I'm going to go with Trevor Lawrence out of Jacksonville.
Okay.
No, Kyle.
We're starting big. I did not have him on my big board for this.
He does not have a flow.
We had this argument already. We're not doing it again. You cannot
Justin
bash my
Herbert
pick.
has a flow. You need a little bit of wave in there. He does not.
You can't
it's
just
straight.
have. You can't have chemically straightened fucking dude sits with the straightening iron.
Look, what can I say? He's an attractive man.
He
does
looks
well
like the
on
eagle,
that side of the
like
ball.
the Easter Island shit.
Okay.
With the
And-
wig.
Oh god. Oh god.
Do what you. That's your
All
opinion.
right, I beat Kyle in this category. We can agree
All right,
on that.
Cameron immediately believes Kyle has sold, and I have to agree with him. Kyle, I think you've sold here. Let's see if you can bring it back. Okay, so I'm rounding out the first round here. I gotta say that this is gonna pain me. This is gonna pain me a lot to do. But I think there's some young blood here in this attractiveness category.
Anakin?
And I think that the Minnesota Vikings QB of the future
Anakin.
is going to be JJ McCarthy is going to be my first round pick for attractiveness.
Ryan, are you feeling okay?
I think I will never
quarterback.
I will never respect him.
Breaking news, Ryan Nienenthal has smoked weed for the first time in his life.
I will never respect JJ McCarthy because he did go to an abysmal school. But guys, I have to be objective here. I have to be. My team construction is on the line here.
I don't like his new haircut that much.
Yeah.
When he was Anakin, holy fuck.
I think the image that sticks in my mind is like back half of last season when he was sit on the sidelines with the headset, listening into the calls and stuff, and he had the makeup, he had the eye makeup. That dude was hot.
I just have to point out that Ryan is the only one who chose a quarterback that is younger than us.
Yeah, that's true.
How young is JJ McCarthy? He's like, what, 21,
He's
22?
22.
Yeah.
He's a year younger than me.
Cougar.
Jesus Christ.
Homemaker, and now a Cougar.
Calling me a fucking cradle robber, you assholes. But this is a snake draft, so I get a turnaround. I get a little turnaround here. And I'm going to have to lock in truly what I believe to be one of the most elite builds in the NFL. Just the sheer raw physicality. He can't play quarterback, but that's not what I'm picking him to do. Give me for body Anthony Richardson, AR5 out of Indianapolis. That dude's a machine of a human being.
That just gave me a really good idea for that category. Your explanation. Holy shit.
Well, okay. I'm definitely not going to body for my next pick. I really want to lock down my passing game.
Okay.
So I'm going to give it to arguably one of the best passers in the NFL, someone who can truly do whatever the fuck he wants with a football. It does not matter how twisted or contorted his body is. He can throw a dart 40 yards down the field with just a little flick of the wrist. And I'm going to go to one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the NFL, Patrick Mahomes, for my passer.
Yeah, yep. Saw that coming. It's elite. There's he's in the GOAT combo for a reason. You know, Cameron, it comes back to you.
And I get the turnaround here. So last pick of round 2, my quarterback is as attractive as Jimmy Garoppolo, and he can run like Lamar Jackson, baby.
Yep.
It's gonna be like if the Flash was like sexier.
The Barry Allen disrespect is palpable. What?
Yeah.
Well, I said I didn't say sexy.
Okay.
First pick of round 3, I'm going to follow suit with Kyle in passing, and I'm gonna take the guy who had by far the most passing yards in the NFL last season, Joe Burrow.
Yeah. He was number one. He was number 1 on my big board for that.
He was my number 2, just in case someone took passing before me. Man,
Kyle, it's back to you.
Man. My third round pick here, I think I need to lock down a build here. And there's one guy who happens to have recently won a Super Bowl that is on my big board. And he just has the quads of a giant. And he obviously has been in the trenches with all of his rushing touchdowns. So if you talk about durability in his build, there's no doubt that Jalen Hurts is going to be a good pickup here.
Biggest ass in this quarterback class.
Absolutely. He is the Kyle Lowry of active NFL quarterbacks.
True.
For sure.
Agreed.
This puts me in a tough spot here. Because I can go with a couple of my picks are off the board, but I can go with, I have the turnaround here too. Fuck. Okay, we're going to lock down some of the key stats here. We're going to lock down some of the key categories. If I have a QB that is built like Anthony Richardson, but imagine if he had the fucking agility of Jaden Daniels.
Ooh,
Give me
solid.
Jaden Daniels as a runner. The agility, the ability to make people miss, just the raw top speed in that build. Oh, man. That's dangerous. That's dangerous right there. And then I think I'm going to have to come back around. I'm going to have to lock down the passing. Give me... I'm going to have to go... I still think he's one of the best passing quarterbacks in the NFC. Give me Matthew Stafford. Fuck. Give me Matthew Stafford for passing here.
No, I was literally going to be my next pick for a different category.
You wanted him for football IQ?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I was going to make a joke that he's a high IQ, scrappy film rat. Fuck.
I do want to give a shout.
Tell me more. I've never heard this joke before.
I don't think I will.
I'm going to say... I'm going to save this guy's name, but I want to give him a shout out because I don't think anybody else is going to pick him up for any of their categories, but I'm going to save him in my back pocket just in case. But Kyle, it goes to you.
Well, I kind of showed my hand here of what I wanted to do for our next move, which was football IQ. The other name that I have on my board is Russell Wilson because he is still, is he a free agent or is he active?
He's active. He's active.
Because I know he's not like officially signed to the team right now. But I think that
he's going to interview with Cleveland and the Giants.
Yeah. So more than likely he will be a starting quarterback this next year. But just his tenure in the NFL is what is convincing me. Just again, he's old. He's played football a long time. So just naturally you have some football IQ.
I think that's a solid pickup. especially once we get later into the rounds here and the great quarterbacks seem to be disappearing. So, Cameron, you have the turnaround here, round 4 into round 5. Go ahead and finish out your build a quarterback.
Okay, there is an elite quarterback still on the board here who I'm actually not going to take for either of these. I'll let you guys have him. But for ball knowledge, I'm going to follow suit with Kyle. I'm going to take an older guy. He's got some wisdom, especially from his time in the Darkness Retreats. Give me Aaron Rodgers.
I knew it.
I was so debating taking him at the end of round 3, or at the start of round 4. That's a pickup right there.
And now for body, I had a couple weird guys on my big board already. I had Will Levis and Daniel Jones on there.
Daniel Jones is built.
He's got a good body.
But when Ryan was explaining his pick for body, saying a guy who sucks at quarterback, but he's just got a freaky body, that gave me an idea. I'm going to Taysom Hill.
That is wow. That was not on my big board.
I'll let it slide, even though he's technically a tight end.
Give me Taysom Hill.
The Mormon mission.
I thought you were going to Mac Jones for a freaky body.
I'm not going with fucking McCorkle.
It would have been gorgeous.
That would have been quite the sell. Kyle, go ahead, finish out here.
God. Yeah, I have to take it because he's still on the board. The reigning MVP is still on the board. So I have to take him for rushing. And I am not complaining about that. What an absolute pickup. I figured that he was going to be long gone by this point, so I wrote down Baker Mayfield just because in his Oklahoma days, bro, he was trucking people. He's
a scrambler. He's a scrambler.
He's a durable runner, is what I like to call him. So he was on my board, but Josh Allen.
Okay. I'm in a bit of a pickle here. I'm not gonna lie. Let me pull up. I need to pull up my bigger board because I had like a little mini board.
The priority board and then the big board.
Yeah, I kind of need to go to the bigger board here. Okay. You know what? Fuck it. This is okay. So we're talking about football IQ, right? And we're talking about age. Experience in the NFL.
Jameis Winston.
Critical. And
Jameis Winston.
One of the most important spots football IQ comes into play is in the playoffs. And there are few guys who have been to the playoffs and played in more big games than the one and only, currently probably sitting on his couch, but still technically active, Joe Flacco.
Yeah.
Give me the man who took Cleveland to the playoffs by saying, fuck it, somebody down there somewhere.
And
Joe
won the
Flacco.
first round.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And won a Super Bowl.
Yes, he did with
Baltimore.
Yes, with Baltimore. Made it to multiple, but I gotta go with old man Joe here. And that wraps up our build a QB draft. How you guys feeling about your builds?
I think I won.
I so clearly won.
I absolutely think I won.
Yeah.
Trevor Lawrence attractiveness and Russell Wilson football IQ, the dude threw less touchdowns than bathrooms he had in his house 2 years ago.
Okay, that's not fair because he was in Denver.
A
look
team
at what
that
Bo
made
Nix
it to
did
the
in Denver.
playoffs after he left.
Yeah.
Okay, passing touchdowns does not equate to football IQ. That is passing talent. And he is losing his passing talent as he ages. He knows the game of football.
He's lost everything but his moon ball. But the ability to throw, know what passes to throw does contribute to passing touchdowns.
I do rescind my comment that he's a smart football player because he did attend the University of Wisconsin, and they are all stupid at that college. So, fuck. I'm willing to take an L on that one, but nothing else. The rest of my build is perfect.
I don't know. I think I got the best player possible in 4 of the categories.
I don't know about that.
Burrow for passing, Lamar for running, Taysom Hill for body, and Garoppolo for attractiveness.
Taysom Hill for body. I think you got last. I think you got last out of all 3 of us.
Taysom Hill is a truck. Imagine him running like Lamar.
Is he more of a truck than Anthony Richardson?
Yeah.
No.
Have you seen Jalen Hurts' butt?
Cool, you can push on it.
All right, this one's going.
Kyle lost?
We can agree Kyle lost, but I think I won. I think I won. Okay, this one's gonna have to go to the poll. Poll along with the release of this episode on Spotify. Go ahead, give us your input. Who do you think won this QB draft?
If you're watching on YouTube, comment downstairs.
Yeah, throw a like and subscribe. Comment down below who you think took the W here and why it isn't Kyle.
Yes.
I don't care. I'm gonna buy like so many comments.
Spread hate to Kyle.
I'm gonna pay like $400 for just Kyle love comments.
If there is a positive comment about Kyle, it is getting deleted. Please spread the most vile
you don't have
hate
access
you can
to that.
possibly imagine.
Let's go ahead and move to the free agency extravaganza that took place in the past couple of days in the NFL. There were some big moves here in the last couple of days. Teams realizing that their window is closing, aka the 49ers, or teams realizing that their window has just come wide fucking open, aka the Commanders, and every other team in between trying to make moves to make their team better for the upcoming NFL season. Let's go ahead and talk about one of the most important positions to winning is the quarterback. And there was a carousel here this offseason when it came to who's going where. Some surprise moves, such as the Seattle Seahawks sending Geno Smith to the Las Vegas Raiders to be reconnected with Pete Carroll after I believe Geno spent his first to second year as a starter with Pete Carroll, but he was there as a backup beforehand, so he knows Pete. They're together now. Sam Darnold took 3 years, $100.5 million to become a Seattle Seahawk, which we can talk about that. I think he was looking for a longer term deal than the Vikings were willing to give him. And then you've got guys who, in reality, how much of a chance did they actually get in their career? He started in Chicago, which is just the death of quarterback play. And then he played well to start for Pittsburgh, but Justin Fields is now a New York Jet heading out to East Rutherford, New Jersey to play at MetLife. I'm so sorry for him to play at that stadium. But with all of this QB movement, also, I know Cameron would kill me if I didn't also mention that BYU standout Zach Wilson is a Miami Dolphin.
He is.
So with all of these,
so when Tua gets a concussion,
movement,
he is an elite backup now.
Cameron, I want to start with you. Which team won the quarterback carousel?
I really like the move of Geno Smith to the Raiders. I think he's got an elite receiving option in Brock Bowers. I think they can do great together. You've got one of the most prolific passers in the league, throwing to one of the most prolific receivers in general in the league. I think they're going to be electric together. I don't think they won the quarterback carousel. I think the Philadelphia Eagles did when they traded away Kenny Pickett for Dorian Thompson-Robinson. Sometimes Jalen hurts, and he got to sit on the bench. And now they have an elite, arguably top 10 quarterback in the league.
There is
to
no
back him up.
argument.
Arguably, there can.
The argument is you forgot how to count.
Yeah.
And
That's an argument. He's arguably top 10.
He's arguably top 100.
Arguably, yes.
Kyle, I'll pose the same question to you.
My winner of the QB carousel was a team that did not participate in any way because they just re-signed their reigning MVP quarterback to an extension. The Buffalo Bills made Josh Allen the highest paid player of all time, and for good reason. He obviously, won MVP. He's going to probably do well in the playoffs this year. Hopefully they get some offensive weapons for him. But truly, I like Geno to the Raiders. I think that's a good move. I just didn't think it made sense for Seattle to pull the trigger there. And Pittsburgh currently, do they have a quarterback in Pittsburgh?
No.
Yeah, so Pittsburgh's still out if they find a way to get a great.
They're in the Rodgers sweepstakes right now.
Yeah, and if they're in the Rodgers sweepstakes, then it's not going to be good for the Steelers because. And again, there's so many other teams that are still out on quarterbacks that I don't think it's officially decided yet. But for the teams that did not really have to participate, I think that they're kind of winning right now. I mean, obviously that's just in general. If you don't have to participate in the quarterback carousel, you're doing well in free agency. But if you have to participate, you have to, you're trying to scrounge something together. So for the teams that were attempting to do that, I think the Raiders won it. I think Geno, even though we didn't think he was available, became available, and is reuniting with a former coach. So I think that there's going to be it's a quick plug and play for the Raiders rather than what these other teams are going to, they're going to have some growing pains of, new quarterbacks and new situations. Geno recognizes the system that he's going to be inserted into. If I had to pick an actual team to win, I would take the Raiders.
Yeah, I think shout out the Raiders. I think out of the whole movement over on the West, I think they came out on top. The Niners are currently shedding everything because they're going to have to pay Brock Purdy. So they got worse. I still don't believe in Bo Nix. I think he's hit his ceiling. I think he'll be good. He'll never be great. I think Geno has the ability to be better than Bo Nix. I think it's tough when you're in the AFC West because the AFC West is a competition for second behind the Chiefs. But I think with this, Geno Smith throwing to Brock Bowers, I think they can be better than the Broncos. I think they could be better than the Chargers, depending on what the Chargers receiving core looks like and how that develops under a Jim Harbaugh offense. But I think the team that really came out with the most possible upside here was the Jets. I'm a Justin Fields fan. Since he left Chicago, I thought it was the right decision for the Bears to move on from Justin Fields when you have Caleb Williams fall into your lap, who is just a better football player. He needs time. He needs an offensive line,
which they're getting.
But he's better than Justin Fields. But over I think he started the first 6 games in Pittsburgh. He was 4-2, and he looked good. Not elite by any means, which is tough when you're in a division with Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow. But he looked like he could be a solid NFL starter. And moving from the AFC North to the AFC East, competition-wise, it's Buffalo, which runs the division. And then you're fighting against Tua Tagovailoa, who has scrambled eggs for brains, and Drake May, who we don't know. I think Drake May will be good, but we don't know. He could be Mac Jones 2.0. I believe Justin Fields has the ability to be the second best quarterback in this division. I don't think it's going to take the Jets anywhere this year. I think the Jets are still eating their lumps a little bit. But I think Justin Fields could be a franchise guy for them if he develops well. So I think the Jets came out of this looking the shiniest because, look, Sam Darnold, he had a great year with Minnesota. He doesn't have Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, TJ Hawkinson, Christian Darrisaw, and Aaron Jones anymore. He's got
Brian O'Neill.
He's got Jackson Smith and Jigba and Kenneth Walker Jr., and that's the Seahawks. And the Raiders are the Raiders. So I don't think any of the other teams in the carousel here really came out looking like they have their future solved, which the Jets could. They very well could. Let's go ahead and take a look at a team that instead kind of has the skill positions down, in all honesty. And their big problem was the trenches. Football is a game of inches, and sometimes you just got to get the big boys. If you don't got the big boys up front, you're not going to make it. Just ask Colorado. The first year Dion was there. They had great skill position players, and they did not have the fellas up front. So this team went ahead and spent money to go ahead and solve their offensive and defensive line woes, and that is none other than our Minnesota Vikings. They signed off the 2 offensive linemen from the Colts. They signed Will Fries, left or right guard, and Ryan Kelly at center, both of whom are multiple-time Pro Bowlers. Will Fries is just coming off his rookie contract. He was drafted in 2021, I believe, whereas Ryan Kelly, I believe this is his second contract. But he has been a staple.
I think he's going into his 9th season.
Yeah, he has been a staple for that Indianapolis offensive line. Along with him and Quentin Nelson, have been holding down that interior in Indianapolis, which solves some issues for Vikings up front. And then on the defensive end, they got the boys inside. They paid Javon Hargrave from the San Francisco 49ers, as well as Jonathan Allen, former stud interior defensive lineman from the Washington Commanders. He's been holding it down in DC for a while, and now Minnesota grabs him on the free agent market. Kyle, I want to go to you first. How much does this move the needle for the Minnesota Vikings?
Actually, Kyle, before you go, I hate to interrupt you, but I have breaking news, actually. The Vikings just re-signed a 6-time Pro Bowler, Harrison Smith, to come back for his 14th NFL season.
Hey!
I'm so happy.
There we go.
All right, pardon my interruption.
So now their back end, they brought back Byron Murphy Jr. as well. You've got Mekhi Blackman coming back from an ACL tear. Theo Jackson, Josh Metellus, and Harrison Smith is looking to be your starting three.
Who's the guy who
Isaiah Rodgers?
Safeties.
Yeah.
Isaiah Rodgers off of was he
Eagles.
from the Bills as well? Philly. So this is a rejuvenated Vikings defense with still veteran leadership coming from Harrison Smith. Your outside linebackers have been in the system for a year now. Jonathan Grenard and Van Ginkel aren't going anywhere as of this next year. After that, though, their contracts do come up. And you've got folks like, you've still got Ivan Pace Jr. sitting in the middle. You've got Kamu Grugier-Hill, who looked good in the spurts in which he did play last year. And you've still got Diamond Dallas Turner sitting there waiting to cause havoc, because that dude looks electric. Kyle, how much does this free agency period move the needle for the Minnesota Vikings for you?
I can definitely speak on moving the needle in my heart. And I know it's the same cycle that I go through every fucking year, where I get so fucking excited for the Vikings. Like, all these big names are coming in. Obviously, we saw it a lot last season as well with like the free agents that we were bringing in. But this year, again, my main complaint from this Viking season, and it's been my complaint for years on years, is our interior offensive line is shit, for lack of better words. It's a revolving door. They couldn't block a fucking feather. And what do? We get two guys from the same team. So obviously I'm scrolling on Vikings social media for the past couple of days and just saw clips of Ryan Kelly and Will Fries together and just seamlessly blocking together. Their chemistry, now they're just playing with 3 different guys on the line. But that right side between those two is going to be dominant. And then, not that our D tackles were bad last year. We had a lot of great play on the defensive line. We just didn't have a lot of great pressure. And now we get 2 very well-rounded tackles for the front. And then on the outside, we'll have our edges that can do fucking anything. It truly pushes us to a Super Bowl contention level as long as JJ McCarthy can execute, which obviously he's a championship quarterback for the Michigan Wolverines. Sorry, Ryan.
Well, yes,
I have to say it. He is. We can't deny that.
That's what he did. That's what he did.
He is a champion quarterback. He is a champion quarterback.
Did he win the championship?
He's got a ring.
He has a ring.
He has the ring.
So he has the IQ for it, you could say. He has the ability to lead. And personally, I'm a big fan of his social media page because he posts a lot of those like inspirational quotes. He seems like a great locker room guy. So I think
real glue guy.
Oh, everyone there already loves him.
Exactly. So they're going to be rallying behind him. As long as he can throw the ball to Justin Jefferson or Jordan Addison or TJ Hawkinson or who knows, Cooper Kupp, free agent.
Aaron Jones.
Yeah, hand off to Aaron Jones. Who
He's
says
great
that?
Or past Aaron Jones.
Or past Aaron Jones.
Aaron Jones can do that.
And if the Vikings win the draft by maybe drafting Ashton Jante if he falls to us, or trading up for him, we have a killer duo in the backfield. Look.
There's no way.
Call me a dreamer.
He's never getting past Dallas.
I know.
Unless they trade out to get Shador.
They would. They totally would. But to wrap my lucid fantasies up, I love these pickups for the Vikings. I truly think that we can go a lot deeper than we did this year. And I say it every year, but it's cool. Fuck the Packers. Let's get this ring before I die.
Damn
You're
right.
going to die after the season?
Yes.
Damn.
After we get this ring.
I guess we have a death date for the podcast.
Cameron, I want to pose a very similar question to you, but I want to talk about one specific thing as well. I want you to talk about how much does this free agent class move the needle for you when it comes to the Minnesota Vikings? And then I also want to look at, so we've solved center and right guard. We're attempted to solve. We have solutions in place. Are we keeping Dalton Reisner at left guard?
No, who's the other guy?
Ed Ingram?
No, the other guy.
Blake Brandel.
Yeah.
Oh, Blake Brandel.
I would be okay with keeping him around. And then we've got Christian Darrisaw and Brian O'Neill, who are elite.
He'd be the weak link on that offensive line, but if your weak link is one left guard who you can kind of just shift the protection to most of the time, you'll take that over a guard-center guard combo who can't block the wind.
As Cameron, how much does this... Questenberry does not play another minute for my favorite football team, I will be happy. Yeah, I don't know. I really can't say how much it moves the needle, because I think the biggest needle mover is going to be JJ McCarthy, seeing how he actually plays out there. We got one preseason game of him where he did look really good, and obviously he has had a lot of time to gel with the team. He was doing some VR practices. We even saw him throwing balls to Justin Jefferson in like a hotel lobby with a giant ceiling. I think if he can be good, he's got an offensive line that is very capable of protecting him. We just said, oh, hey, what's an underperforming team with a good O-line? Cool, can we have 40% of it? And just grabbed it. He's got, I think our offense is one of the best in the NFL, just our offensive unit in general. Defense, we saw how players that you would never think could step up can step up under Brian Flores' scheme. I think just the biggest question mark on this team is whether JJ McCarthy can perform at even a top 15 quarterback level. Then I think we're a lock for the playoffs, at least.
I want to go ahead and keep this moving along. I think this is a great pickup for the Vikings. I'm excited to see what they can do. It all does fall down to if JJ McCarthy can execute the Kevin O'Connell offense. If he can, I think the ceiling for this team is hoisting a Lombardi trophy. If he can't, which I'm not sure he can, it will still be, I think we could still be a wild card team. But who knows? Who knows? I want to go ahead. Each of us, we talked about some of the big moves, quarterback carousel, Vikings. I want all of us to give one underrated move that we think happened so far in NFL free agency. That can be either underrated in like, oh, this team made a huge improvement with this one or two guys and nobody's talking about it, or hey, this team did something and now is a fucking bottom feeder and they have no shot. Cameron, I want to go ahead and start with you on this team on this time. Give me your underrated move of NFL free agency so far.
Okay, my underrated move is going to be the Denver Broncos getting Talanoa Hufanga, safety from the San Francisco 49ers. He was a Pro Bowler, I think all-pro player 3 seasons ago. Last couple of seasons he's dealt with some injuries, but I think he can still be elite. This is a Broncos defense that was already one of the best in the NFL last year. They're playing in a pretty good division, so they definitely need to have that to keep up with the offenses that Patrick Mahomes and Justin Herbert can bring. And these moves, Hufanga and also Dre Greenlaw from the San Francisco 49ers, is going to push this defense from elite to the best in the NFL by maybe a lot. I am very optimistic about this Broncos defense after these moves, specifically Hufanga, who's joining an elite backfield with reigning NFL Defensive Player of the Year Patrick Surtain, as well as Riley Moss.
Second best white corner in the NFL. Scrappy guy.
Big, scrappy guy.
Kyle?
You know, you mentioned the 49ers a lot in that, obviously, one or two of their players moving away. But I think the underrated part of this offseason has just truly how much, like, the culmination of losses for the 49ers. Like, they traded Deebo Samuel away. They cut Kyle Juszczyk, Leonard Floyd, Javon Hargrave, Malik Collins, and then just in general in free agency, they weren't able to re-sign Dre Greenlaw, Javarius Ward, Hufanga, Aaron Banks, Jalen Moore, Elijah Mitchell, and Josh Dobbs. So who the fuck is going to be playing for the San Francisco 49ers. Like, I think they still have their O-line, they have CMC, and they have Brock Purdy. And like it feels like that's it.
Ayuk.
So, yeah, Brandon Ayuk. So it's like they have, and George Kittle.
And who's the guy that got shot?
Bosa?
Ricky Pearsall.
Ricky Pearsall.
So yeah, they have a couple of like their key players, but they have no depth. They have no one else on that team because,
And
like I've said,
if there's one thing the Niners are known for, it's needing
Injuries.
to use their fucking depth.
yes, especially after this last season. So truly,
Especially after every single season they've had where they haven't made it to the Super Bowl.
yeah, it's actually just ridiculous that their GM just like obviously their GM can't do much with their cap situation.
John
You have to
Lynch.
pay. Yeah, John Lynch, you have to pay Brock Purdy. And Brock Purdy, granted, at this point in time, after all these moves you've made, you have to pay Brock Purdy because he does not want to stay there anymore after losing so many offensive talents. But just in general, like who is going to be on the 49ers? Who else is going to play football for the team? I think at the moment, they maybe have enough for a starting lineup on both sides. I don't know if they have enough people to play special teams. Like truly, it feels like there's no one there. And I feel like no one's talking about how this NFC West is basically the door is wide open for the Rams again, because the 49ers aren't going to be competitive this year. The Cardinals are never competitive. And, granted, the Seahawks are going through a rebuild right now. They just imploded. So truly, like the 49ers were kind of their only competition. And now there's nothing there. It's just bare bones. So it's gonna be a gruesome season for the 49ers this year.
Yeah, I think that's going to be easily the worst division in football next year.
Oh, the AFC South would like to have a word. And the NFC South both of the Souths would like to have a word.
I don't know. I think the
specifically-
Panthers are going to be good. Bucks are going to
Yeah.
be
I think
good.
the Panthers will be better. The Bucks are going to be the same.
But the Saints exist, and they have
Saints
$18
are
trillion
fucked.
in debt.
Okay, do you think I guess I do think the Saints are going to be the worst team in the NFL this year. I said that.
Yeah.
But like
I'd like to
when you're comparing
advocate
them to where Seattle and San Fran are right now.
I'd like to say this team, I think this team made the playoffs last year. They won a playoff game, and we didn't think they were going to. Houston's missing the playoffs because they've brought in a couple of different receivers to try to cover up the fact that their receivers keep getting either injured or shot. But this Laramie Tunsil trade, their biggest problem was already the offensive line. It was a problem. And you just traded away the one reliable piece on that offensive line. He had been a staple of that Houston offensive line since Deshaun was there. And what did they get? They got like a fifth or something.
It was
Yeah,
a
it was
ridiculously
nothing.
low.
It was not a value trade for a multiple-time Pro Bowl left tackle who, sure, is on the back end of his prime, but he's still good. He's the best player you had on that offensive line. And this is not a deep tackle class coming out. There's
Tackles
a lot of
aren't good to come by, or it's not easy to come by
No.
even just a serviceable tackle.
There's
Vikings have 2 elite ones.
Yeah, we're lucky.
yeah, it's not looking good for Houston to be able to function as an offense unless you want CJ Stroud to be doing fucking cardio out there running for his goddamn life. Here on Bisportuals, again, this is time for a second surprise here. We want to welcome our first ever guest of the pod. We have the one, the only, Griffin. Let's go ahead and get a round of applause for Griffin.
Woo!
Hi.
It is...
Hello.
Sexy! Woo! Who said that?
I don't know. I think it was the winds.
I thought
Or
it
it
was,
was
a ghost.
it was all of the adoring fans of Griffin.
Yeah, it's
Of
your
course.
posse. Someone in your posse, not me.
Uh,
Thank you.
as we are entering mid-March, it's time for possibly the biggest sporting event of the year to many, March Madness. It is almost time. The NCAA basketball tournament is almost here, folks. At the time of the release, we will be going into the weekend of Selection Sunday, and then next week, we go ahead and we start games. So, I love college basketball here. Unfortunately, 2 of my standard co-hosts are not educated on college basketball. They don't know ball. They don't know college ball.
I keep up.
They don't know college ball.
I don't watch college basketball. I keep
the
up.
NBA and NFL are already more than enough for me to follow.
So we will go in ahead and brought in our resident college basketball expert, Griffin. Griffin, how prepared do you feel for today's game?
I'm feeling pretty prepared for this general college knowledge, spitting there, college knowledge information game. If you were to ask me anything about the NFL, like earlier in this episode, I would not be the one to ask.
Hey,
You can tell me how good Jalen Clark is, right?
I can tell you how good Jalen Clark is.
So let's go ahead. We're going to start by testing out, like Griffin said, some college knowledge here. I have 10 college logos here that I will be sharing with my other participants here. I need them to give me the name of the college and the mascot, if they can give me. It's 2 points per question, a total of 10 questions. We have a bonus at the end that is worth 4 points total, if you can get them both right.
Are these college basketball relevant schools, men's or women's?
These are, I believe, almost all of these teams have made the NCAA tournament within the last couple of years. So there are no absolute shit. There's no UC San Diego banana slugs here. Sorry.
But
I
I was
another
freshen up on
question.
that.
Just like based on your knowledge of me, how many points do you think I'm gonna get?
What's
Your
our max points is 40?
Our
No, max
max
points is
points
24.
Yes, 24. 24 is
shit.
max points. Cameron, I think you will get for sure at least 2 points.
I can see Cam getting like a 10. Like
I'm
a 10
going,
out
yeah,
of-
I'm going more than that.
I'm guaranteeing 2 because everybody should get 2 points on this first one. They start easier and then they will progressively get harder as we go on.
Cam, I'll give you a 6.
Okay.
All right. Otherwise, yeah, go ahead.
I pour a 4 in my 6.
Let's go ahead. I'm going to share the screen, and the first team logo is going to be on the screen. So go right ahead with this first one once you see the screen. This is your first college logo here.
Oh my gosh.
My goalie, I've solved it.
Bonus points if you can spell the word right.
I've been
True.
practicing that all
I think
day.
I did. I think I did.
Shout out the G-Fed Sporkle quiz. I've been studying that literally all day.
All right, let's go ahead, move on to our second school.
Can we get a bonus point if we can name the mascot?
I don't know the actual mascot's name. I feel bad.
You don't know
Starting out-
Kyle.
We're starting out nice. We're starting out easy before we get into some of the more obscure. To be clear, some of these are obscure. Some of these are obscure for Kyle and Cameron.
I hate how you keep loving me in here. Like, I know colleges.
Let's see it. Let's see the proof. Pudding's going to be in the proof's going to be in the pudding. Pudding will be in the proof. There's a reward of pudding.
You can put
I hope
your
so.
pudding in my proof, if you know what I'm saying.
She putting on
Hey,
my
Not funny. And
Man, fuck you.
All
she
right,
putting
let's
on
go
my
ahead.
See me
something until I
laughing.
prove.
There's something there. There's something there.
Yeah,
Take
I'm
that
getting
back to the
close.
There's a
workshop.
thread.
I'm getting close.
Mhm.
I'm
Let's
getting
go ahead,
close
let's
to
move
push
on.
off that one
what
for
I
now.
say every night.
We'll circle back to it. Put a pin in it.
Yeah. Well, circle back EOD. Let's go ahead and move on to our third logo. A college basketball staple.
Cameron knows this one.
Yes.
His favorite
I
player of all
imagine that he
time
would.
went here.
A blue blood.
Cody Zeller went to Indiana.
Yeah, Cody Zeller would not go to this school.
All right,
And
I rest my
they're-
case.
Specified mascot. Your website's not secure, Ryan.
I was gonna say, how
I
dare
live
you?
my life unsecure, baby. I fly caution to the wind by the seat of my own pants. All right, let's go ahead. School number 4.
Second best point guard in college basketball this year. After, you know,
Trey
who.
Holloman doesn't play for this team.
Oh, can it?
We're not going to circle back to that one.
All right. Now we're going to start the climb. Okay, we're going to start the climb of difficulty. Here.
Let's go.
Here we go. Next school.
I think I got all those schools.
This is school
Well
number
done.
5. This is number 5. If you don't know college ball, this one will be a bit
you
tougher.
might not know this one. They had decent football in the
Sometimes.
last 5 years, maybe, I want to say.
Not compared to their college basketball
Well,
success.
yeah.
But, yeah, I mean,
Well.
fair point.
Success.
Relevancy.
Yeah. Next member of the 40-team not Big 12, SEC.
We'll go ahead, move on. This is now number 6.
Beautiful 15 seed run 2 years ago.
Truly.
For the school that this is, like, this logo is so old. Like, to me, it looks old-fashioned. Like,
It's
it
dated.
seems like a logo straight out of like the 1990s, and they just haven't updated it since.
That makes total sense for this school. Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
I mean,
very
it
much
does.
so.
But they should have maybe looked at an update. Maybe it could be on their school radar, with all their the money that they're going to be funneling in. So
Let's
All
go
of
ahead.
the schools in this league kind of have that vibe.
Yeah. 7. This is now number 7. This one is kind of, I'm going to be honest, it's kind of a classic when it comes to more obscure logos.
Yeah, it is a really
This
cool
is-
logo.
there's a lot of like good or like serviceable NBA players out of this university.
We'll go ahead and push to number 8. I'm going to be totally honest. I hate this logo.
It's yucky.
Why does it have the line? Well, I now understand after thinking about it for a second why the line is there.
Does not mean that it's not yucky. And I said it.
That's actually kind of cool now that I've unlocked that extra layer of detail in this logo that I've never seen before.
Griffin hit a lore unlock.
I did. That's
He got
actually
the
pretty neat.
codex.
That's pretty
Griffin
neat.
gained consciousness.
Here we
Logo
go.
DLC
Number 9.
number 9.
This one, I can't remember if they were.
They
I
were an
think
11
count-
seed.
Were they an 11?
They
on
were an
their run?
11. They were an 11 that made the Final Four back in
Was it
2000.
16 or 17?
Well, it wasn't. No, it was way later than
So,
that.
I would say it's later than that. I thought it
Am
was
I-
like
Am
19.
I thinking of it?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, it was 19. Because
No.
it was when it was in
at
they
US Bank.
no, they weren't at US Bank.
US Bank
I thought
was
it was-
19.
Yeah, I think it was 18 then.
I think it
Because
might
they
have been
weren't at
18.
US Bank.
Could've been.
And it was definitely pre-COVID.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
For sure.
yeah.
And then finally, number 10.
I do not know what this mascot is, but I know this school.
I saw it on my fucking Sporkle quiz today, and I was like, oh, I have to remember that one. Oh,
This one,
What is?
I believe this is their. I don't know what the last time they made it into the tournament is, but they are in this year. They
are.
They're projected. They're projected to be in. Bracketology has them in. I think they won their conference, didn't they?
do not
They're
know.
a little different, just because of the school that they are. I'm pretty sure, but
I have no idea what the mascot is for this.
I have a line. I just don't know if it's accurate.
all right. And then what I'm actually gonna do, we're gonna go through these 10, and I'm gonna save the bonus for the end
Okay.
because
Can
I
we
want to
have
know what the
Cameron-
score totals are.
Can we have Cameron guess
Yes.
first
Yeah.
for all of
All
these?
right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
we all have
let's-
these written down, so no
Yes,
changing.
no
Yep.
changing.
Yep.
Let's go
10.
ahead
To the side.
back to number 1. Cameron, what school is this, and what is their mascot?
That's the Penn State Nittany Lions, Nittany.
Well done.
That is correct.
Well
Yes.
done.
Are we all 2
Yes.
for 2 on that one?
Yes,
Name
sir.
and all right. Penn State Nittany Lions. Second, we moved to.
These are the Syracuse trees, baby.
It is
You're-
Syracuse.
You had the right idea. It's
What's the
literally
primary color of their logo?
Orange.
It
It's
is
the Syracuse Orange. They play in
Oh.
an indoor football stadium with turf, and their mascot's name is Otto.
I just know their mascot is a tree, right?
No, that's Stanford.
Oh,
Yeah.
oops. Whatever. Don't worry about it.
So that's 1 point for Cameron on that question. Kyle, did you get the orange?
Yes, I got the Syracuse Orange.
Okay, great. Cool.
It's a generational mascot name, I gotta say.
Otto's pretty dope.
It's a color, or for their for their
Yeah,
team name.
Team name. Auto the Orange is also dope.
Yeah.
But we're going on to number 3. Cameron, a blue blood.
These are the University of Kentucky Blue Bloods.
Dude.
Rob Dillingham was one.
That's why I said it.
Yeah, but I don't know their mascot or like their.
It is
I
the
just know
same
Kentucky.
as High School Musical.
Yeah,
It's the
it's
the
East High.
Wildcats.
The
It's the
Wildcats.
Wildcats,
Oh
baby.
fuck!
The
They
Kentucky
play-
Wildcats.
In one of the most overrated college basketball arenas of all time, Rupp Arena.
Yeah.
I was gonna write down the Kentucky Blue Man groups.
Technically, I'm interested. Who technically qualifies as a blue blood? It's Kentucky, Kansas, Duke.
UNC.
UNC. Yeah, UNC definitely. You could maybe consider UConn one now, but that's questionable. And my favorite, newest blue blood is the Creighton team
So
out
My
of
favorite
Omaha.
Okay.
newest blue blood is fucking Serena Williams. She did the Crip Walk at the Super Bowl.
And Sabrina Carpenter, because both of her albums, including the deluxe version, are blue.
And she did the Crip Walk at the Super Bowl.
Well, I didn't catch that part.
That would have been awesome.
So let's go ahead. Let's move on to number 4. Cameron, who is it?
These are the Marquette Crackers.
Hey!
Yes.
Hey!
Yes.
Nice.
But that's unfortunately not the
The
team.
correct answer.
It is Marquette. Kyle, can you give me the mascot?
I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I blanked on this one. I said the Minutemen because I thought they started with like an M.
No.
No, that's East Coast.
I know.
I can't remember which school in the East Coast the Minutemen.
I don't know. This
Griffin?
would be the Marquette Golden Eagles,
Oh.
Yes, these are the
With-
Golden Eagles.
the second best point guard in all of college basketball, Cam Jones.
And they had James Butler and Dwayne Wade.
Marquette a couple years ago was a crazy team. I don't remember when they went, because I remember they lost to Michigan State one year when Michigan State was the underdog in the round of 32. Because that was when State was in a little bit of a lull, and it was like, oh, they might not make the second weekend, and then they upset Marquette.
Yeah, I don't remember who was on that team.
On the Marquette team? Or on
Yeah,
the Michigan State? Yeah. I just remember their shooting was crazy. All right. After Marquette, this was when we kind of started to climb a little bit. Cameron?
These are the University of Houston Oilers.
Ooh.
It
That would've
is
been
the
awesome.
University of Houston.
That's Cade Cunningham played there, right? No, he played at Oklahoma.
yeah, he was
Yes.
Oklahoma State.
Mm-hmm. He was a Beaver.
No,
No. They're the Cowboys. I'm sorry.
They are
I was
the
thinking
Cowboys.
of the other OSU.
Oregon State.
This is the University of Houston Cougars.
These are the
Just like-
Cougars.
It's like Kyle's mom.
Truly.
Don't say that about my mom.
Kyle, does your mom listen to this?
I doubt it.
I apologize to her if she is.
But if she's not, no.
Yeah, that's even more fucked up.
But if she's
Just-
not,
I just need a straight
let the record
apology.
reflect.
I'm gonna send this to her. I'm gonna clip this. I'm gonna send it to her.
This,
Exactly
this is
that.
going up on
She's
the
gonna think so
socials.
much poorly of you now.
This is going up on the socials now. This is one of our
Yep.
first clips on the social media. It's Griffin calling Kyle's mom a cougar.
I mean, objectively, she's
Don't
not.
chime in.
Kyle, you
Let's
have a
go
really
ahead.
cute dog. Well, both your dogs.
Yeah.
You look really cute, dog.
Okay. Made it a
That's
little
what
bit
all
better,
those.
but it's not
That's,
okay.
that's what all those big men under his sheets are
No.
saying, dude.
We're not doing this again. We're not doing this again. There has never been a big man under my sheets.
For the record, just to pull the curtain back a little bit, we did take a brief pause, but while we were getting Griffin on here, and during that time, I did hear Kyle say, "Oh, big man, I'm under my sheets."
God. We made it to 10, guys. It was a
just-
great run.
A little behind-the-scenes moment for you guys.
Yeah.
No.
Kyle's
Those are
actually
always fun.
got, there's a door off camera that goes straight to his big men room. That's where he keeps all his big men.
This is stupid, and I hate this.
He
There's
feeds
no
them
defense
Jimmy
for me here.
John's for lunch every day.
All right. So let's go ahead, keep it moving. Cameron, what is this astounding institution in their sports team name?
This was a pretty easy one. These are the Cincinnati Bengals.
You're not far off with the like animal.
Both
You're
of
in the big. You're in the big
both of
cat
the words
family.
you said made me think you were going to get it. So
Kyle,
This is the Princeton Tigers.
these are the Princeton Tigers, the Ivy League.
Shout out that one guy. Was it last year when they went on that run? Or was it the year
Against-
before?
I was two. Well,
Yeah.
Was that last year?
No,
It was the
big
one really short guy. And he was just chucking up threes and he was drilling them. It was their senior.
There was
No,
there was
you're thinking-
a guy. That's a different team.
You're thinking of Max Obamas when he was playing for Oral Roberts.
Oh, yeah.
No, who was? Oh, there was a team last year. They had black unis last year. They were 16, I think, or they might have been a 15. And it was a big upset. I can't remember who it was. They were the Golden Bears or something.
Oakland. You're thinking of the Oakland
Yes.
Golden Bears as they,
Yes.
but he wasn't short. That was
No, that was he was
Jack
taller.
Golke. That was Jack Golke who was just chucking up
Mhm.
threes.
Yeah. All right. So we've got the Cincinnati Bengals. Let's go ahead. Keep it moving.
This is an important one, Cameron.
SDSU. Not to be
Why is this-
confused.
Why is this important, Kyle?
Because a NBA Finals MVP is famously has an alma mater here.
Oh, is this?
What did you put, Cameron?
Yeah.
And
I
then
put
you can-
the South Dakota State Hunters, but is this Davidson?
No.
No.
Oh.
You're
you
thinking of the
got
wrong
SD.
NBA Finals.
Yeah.
This is
This is the San Diego State Aztecs.
Yes,
San
sir.
Diego State Aztecs. There's
Mr.
only two
Kawhi Leonard.
SDSUs.
But Mr.
And-
Kawhi Leonard was a famous alum of this university.
Oh,
They're your mom's favorite 4 or 5 seed on any given year.
no, they're not.
I actually talk to your mom a lot, and she watches college basketball reviews. So.
She knows.
She does
knows
watch
ball.
college basketball more than me, TBH. I think she likes the blue blood schools in Connecticut. Big Caitlin Clark fan.
I mean, who
Big
is
we
it?
Sage
all?
Beckers
Right,
fan.
we
yeah.
all?
Yeah.
Same.
Let's go ahead. Keep it moving. This bad boy, Cameron.
These are the St. John's University Friars.
This is St. John's.
Well done.
Kyle, can you give me the team name?
I also blanked on this one. I said the Johnnies because I figure that if any Saint school makes it in here, they're just whatever their last name is, but E's.
That's not an awful guess. It's
No,
not
it's
close at
not.
all. But Griffin?
I want to say they're the Red Rebels.
Oh,
But I
you're
don't-
so close.
I
Is it
don't.
the Red
I-
Raiders?
No, Red Raiders is Texas.
Texas.
Or
Yeah.
Tech.
Texas Tech, yeah.
Yeah. This is the St. John's Red Storm.
Shoot.
Oh.
That's a tough one. That's tough because it's
It's a
just
mess.
St. John's. And St. John's.
I picked something religious. I guess that was the wrong route.
Well, that's
Wrong state school.
the Providence Friars
Mhm.
is East Coast too, so close enough.
All right, we've got 2 more before we tabulate scores and go into the bonus round. Okay? So, this is number 9. Cameron.
Loyola Marymount Huskies.
You got
This is Loyola.
You got 1/3.
Yeah, this is
it's
this
not Marymount.
is Loyola, not Loyola Marymount. Different
is-
This is
Loyola.
Chicago.
Yeah.
This is Loyola Chicago. Kyle, can you tell me the team?
This is the Ramblers.
The Ramblers is correct.
Go Blurs, baby, go Blurs. This is what they do.
So,
They're
Uh,
copying the Stevens Point Pointers.
That's really
Hello.
close to Roll Dogs. Roll
Go
Dogs.
Pointers. Go Pointers.
Go
Go
Pointers.
Pointers.
The Blurs, are
Oh,
they named after the band from the UK
The
that made
Blurs.
the song too?
Unfortunately, I don't believe they are.
Oh,
I would like to shout out Stevens Point is in the top 16. They're like this close to being in the national championship for curling. It's them. It's
Yeah,
them
Pointers,
and
baby.
like Minnesota and a couple
It's a
others.
lot
oh,
of
you're fucked, buddy. You're
Wow.
fucked.
Skyuma, row the boat.
Stevens Point won like 3 years ago.
Yeah,
We're
Collegiate
built
This is our
for
year.
curling.
this is our year. I'm going to say it.
It's not your
Curling
year in hockey.
school.
That's Michigan State's year. But
Okay. No, it's not. I know we're out of the Big Ten, but we're going further than you in the
Sure.
tourney.
sure, bud. Sure,
Yeah.
buddy. All right. Final one. Final one of the original 10. This team got notoriety a couple years ago for its football team.
Yeah.
Cameron, can you give me the name?
These are the Johnson State Battlecocks.
You're not too
You're
far off.
Yeah.
So close. Kyle?
So it's Jackson State.
I said Johnson because that's like penis.
Yeah, I'm aware.
Yeah,
I
no,
caught
we
that
kind
one.
of got that.
And I got stuck. I think it's the Bulldogs. I want to say it starts with a B.
Mm-mm.
Damn.
Griffin, can you get this one?
Yeah, no, I feel like it. I want to say it's another one that's like Cougars or something, but I don't think that's right.
It is another big cat. So this
Is
is
it the Bobcats?
this is Jackson State. Notable as Dion and Shadur and all of those folks were here
Yeah.
before they went to Colorado. Won the HBCU league. These are the Jackson State, and they stole it from Princeton. The Tigers.
Sneaky.
They-
I didn't
they
think you were
do
going to put
not.
the same name in there twice.
But they are currently slated to be a 16 seed in the tournament this year. So
Whoa.
good for that. Good for that. So if you guys want to go ahead, quick calculate your scores from those first 10, I would love to get a read on where we're at before I reveal the bonus team here.
How
I only
many?
dropped-
How many points per is it?
For the first
it's-
10 would be 20.
yeah,
Oh, how
It's-
are we getting to 24 then?
The bonus is
because the
worth 4.
bonus is worth 2 each
Ah,
instead of 1 each.
For the record, I got 17 out of 20 on the first 10 questions.
For the record, the streets were sleeping on me. I got 7 out of 20.
Nice.
More than 6.
I said 10,
Mhm.
so I
I would've-
Okay,
overestimated
well,
you.
Kyle, you're always on my fucking dick.
What? That is not true.
Yeah, you're not a big guy.
I would have beat
God.
Kyle, but I said Jacksonville State, and
Oh.
that's an L, so I am at 17 out of 20 as well.
So Griffin and Kyle are tied at 17 with Cameron at 7. Going into this last one, the school is 2 points and the mascot is another 2 points. Okay?
Got it, sir.
I need you guys have to think outside the box for this one.
I'm so worried.
Here is the bonus question.
God.
So wrong answers only, or
Well, I'll tell you this right now. It's not the fucking University of Michigan Wolverines.
oh,
Oh.
what?
Oh.
What the hell?
Oh, fuck. What is it? They have such a fucked up.
You're
mascot.
overthinking this so much, you guys. You are overthinking this.
I am
Put,
100%.
No, I think I know it.
put
What the
yourselves
fuck?
put yourselves in the mind of the guy who made this quiz.
Wait, what the fuck? What?
Brian, I'm going to try and
I
allude
got
to
my
it
answer.
because I think
I think I got this one. I think I got it.
I
I
think,
think Cameron might be the closest on this.
I think if I'm looking at this correctly, this might be the school that a Hall of Fame NFL wide receiver went to, who happened to play for the Minnesota Vikings.
No way. No, that's not that. Maybe.
No,
Or
you're
it's-
overthinking this. You're
I'm
overthinking this.
it. Okay.
You're overthinking this.
Okay.
I think Cameron is going to get the closest on this one.
I have a pretty good guess.
All right, Cameron, I'm
Um,
going to come to you last. Just get it. Go ahead, get a guess down. Kyle or Griffin, do you still need time?
No, I'm good.
All right, Kyle, I want to start with you.
I said the Michigan cheating cucks as my joke answer. I actually thought it was like Marshall. That was the first school that came to mind, but
Marshall
they
is-
have a fucked up one.
Marshall is a
Green.
green M with Marshall
Yeah.
written across
Yeah.
it.
I just
So,
saw M and I
unfortunately,
immediately
no.
thought Marshall. So yeah, the
So
L
which
Michigan,
which answer is your answer?
the L Michigan cheating cucks.
Okay, I like it. Griffin?
I'm going to go with the regional campus of University of Michigan Dearborn, where they specialize in automotive engineering. So I'm going to go with the mascot, the cars.
Oh, I'm not gonna lie, I love that answer. I love that
Thank you.
answer.
Thank you.
Cameron?
Oh, I didn't come up with anything really creative. I just did what I thought this school was, and that's the University of Shitsville fuckasses.
This is the University of Garbage Trash Collectors.
Fuck off, Ryan. Well, yeah,
I'm gonna
A
say
1 point semester.
I'm gonna say
We all
I'm
get
gonna
bonus
give
points.
Cameron. I'm gonna give Cameron 4 points. I'm gonna give
Yeah,
Griffin.
baby.
I'm gonna give Griffin 3 points. I'm gonna give Kyle 2.
God, fuck you.
You said Marshall.
Yeah.
I said the Michigan cheating cucks.
You
I
didn't
at
commit.
least-
You didn't commit.
I at least went with the regional campus. So
Regional Campus Dearborn was really fucking funny.
11 out of 24, bitch.
So I believe that makes the winner of this game
That's almost an
Griffin
F.
Leonin.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Are you doxing my last name on this?
We've all of our last names are on
Okay.
this.
Everybody knows exactly where I live.
All right, 21 out of 24, baby.
I'll take a 19 out of 24.
Congratulations. We've tested our knowledge of both basketball and general knowledge of balls as a whole. Of which Kyle only reps the University of Big Men.
God, I hate this.
But let's go ahead. Let's talk some college basketball. This Sunday, like I said, is Selection Sunday, where the final bracket for the NCAA tournament is decided, and then March Madness begins post haste. As of recording on Wednesday, March 12th, the most updated AP 25 poll is out, and there's been a little bit of movement on here when it comes to some of the top 10 teams. For example, Tennessee dropped 4 spots down to 8. They were passed up by Michigan State, who moves up to 7. Alabama rose 2 spots. They're now number 5. Duke now sits atop the AP poll at 1, followed by Houston. Auburn fell after their loss to Alabama. Florida rose. Already talked about Bama. St. John's is sitting at 6. I already talked about Michigan State and Tennessee. Texas Tech stood firm at 9, and Clemson sits at 10. The only other huge movers this week in the poll, Texas A&M rose 8 spots up to number 14. And BYU rose 6 to 17, just passing Wisconsin, who fell 8 spots down to 18. So taking this all into account, looking forward at March, I want to start with our expert and our guest. I want you to give us a team that you believe in, that you think can make a deep run this March.
All right, I am gonna go with hate to say this. Every single part of my being hates to say this, but I'm gonna go Bama and Mark Sears. I think with their run last year, bringing Mark Sears back and having that tall white dude in the middle, I'm forgetting his name, Grant Nelson, I want to say, they are going to do a number in this tournament. Around them, I think good contenders are going to be, also hate to say this, Michigan State, A&M's a really good team this year, and then hopefully the Purdue Boilermakers will at least make an Elite 8 run, and maybe Rick Pitino will get far and be in search of a national title that doesn't get rescinded.
Yeah, Alabama, I brought up the stats here. Alabama is sitting at 6 in KenPom ratings right now. They have a net rating of plus 29.8. They're sitting just under that plus 30 benchmark where you get into teams like Tennessee, Florida, Houston, Auburn. They're all sitting around 30, 35. And then you've got Duke, who's sitting at a plus 40 KenPom rating right now, which is crazy.
Yeah,
but
we'll
this
see.
Bama team,
We'll see if Cooper Flagg does numbers for Duke. I'm expecting them to make a deep run just because I think he'll be one and done at Duke, and that's usually how that goes. But I don't think they can go all the way. And I again, Bama or honestly Izzo's Michigan State, I'm going to shill your thunder, Ryan. I think that they've got a real shot at things if the Purdue Boilermakers can't put a stop to it at some point here.
I do want to throw out our. Actually, I'll get back to it because I have a stat on Duke here that I think it could be important coming into their how they look at the season before their regular season as compared to how their March outlook looks. But Kyle, I want to come to you here now. Same question to you. Team that you believe in that you think has a chance to make a run this madness.
Yeah, I'm gonna, it's easy to pick such a high value blue blood organization in the Duke University Blue Devils, but I do think that Cooper Flagg is gonna have a really great March here. I think he should, by all aspects of it, from all points of his journey, he has been a generational talent. And I look at his Team USA, like scout team this past summer, just playing real competition, I think is translating really well to his college game. And now that he's going to be stepping into a bigger moment, I think that he is going to try and elevate his play. Because I'm going to be honest, Duke hasn't had a lot of competition this year. They're in a weak ACC conference in terms of basketball this particular season. So I see they're number one in the AP, and I don't trust it. I don't trust them going like all the way, but it's Duke. They're going to make the Elite Eight. They will probably make the Final Four. I don't see them making the chip. I think an underrated team that could sneak into that kind of same conversation. I'm a big fan of the Iowa State Cyclones. They have a fun program. They play basketball at a very high level in the NCAA. So that's a team that I'm kind of like I'm not sleeping on, but I'm trying to sneak into some of my later brackets. So those are just two teams that I have a little bit more trust in to at least get to that pedigree. But there is a team kind of in the top of this pool that I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to fade. I'm going to fade if they are anywhere near a 1 or a 2 seed in their respective division. And that would be the University of Houston Cougars. I don't trust them. I don't trust them at all. They've been here time and time again. They've been in this situation, and they do not show up. It's always, everybody's always surprised. Oh, my God, Houston got upset again. Houston got upset again. It always happens. So I'm going to say, don't trust them. Don't believe in the Cougars.
Yeah, I think I want to second on this Cyclones team. They are 6th in the NCAA in defensive rating.
Mm-hmm.
And their offense is still top 25. It's near the bottom of that top 25, but those are kind of the bare minimum metrics that you want to have. That I think their defense, they play tenacious defense. I'll talk about it with Michigan State because that's one of their tenets as well when it comes to this team. But if they can get those offensive numbers up, their offensive rating is sitting at 118.7 right now, which is compared to, it's only about 10 points lower than Auburn, who sits at number 1. But there's still a lot of space there. If they can get those numbers up while maintaining the energy on the defense side of the ball, I like this Cyclones team to make a good run here. I want to say, you mentioned Duke, and so I'm just going to throw this out here now. Duke, out of the top 10 in KenPom ratings here, Duke has the second or third lowest luck for of variance in calls and shots falling out of the entire top 10. The worst luck far and away is Gonzaga. Gonzaga has had awful luck this year, and then it's Texas Tech, and then it's Duke. So the whole thing with luck is if it swings one way, it's very possible that sometimes it swings another. And if they catch some breaks here in the tournament, I could see them going to the 4 and maybe even making the big game. I don't think they'd win, only because we don't know what Cooper Flagg looks like in this scenario, because March is different basketball. We don't know what it looks like. But if it looks good, I don't see a reason this Duke team couldn't make it past the second weekend.
I just wanted to say Iowa State, definitely one of the teams to watch in the last couple of years. TJ, I like to say Pretzelberger, because that's more fun than Otzelberger. Has put together a really good program that's very dynamic, plays good basketball, and definitely makes Hilton one of the hardest places to play. So we'll see if they can do it away from there.
Yeah, it's a very good point. Cameron, let's head over to you. Give me a team you think can make a deep run this March.
Yeah, so my knowledge of college basketball is incredibly limited. I've mostly, like, when it comes to the season, just been following the stats of the top projected MNBA draft picks. Cooper Flagg, he's been doing great. Ace Bailey and Dylan Harper, I just, as those two guys are so good that it's surprising that the team in general is so bad. VJ Edgecombe over at Baylor. I don't know, is Baylor projected to make the tournament?
They are 7th in the Big 12, so they.
Let me check. I'll check bracketology right now.
Yeah, I think they should be.
Okay. Yeah,
Baylor is considered to have one of the last 4 buys. They're projected to be around a 10 seed right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably going up against Missouri-ish.
If they're a 10 seed, I can definitely see them taking a first round match. VJ Edgecombe is a dog. I know Cooper Flagg is a great defender, but VJ Edgecombe might be even better. I think they're both going to have great defensive upside in the NBA, MNBA.
Thank you.
And Gonzaga, the one full college basketball game I watched this season was in person at Gonzaga, and they won. So I'm going to say they did look pretty good. Missed a bunch of shots in the first half, but then one of their dudes, I believe number 1, absolute free throw merchant, and just carried the game for them. They've got Andrew Nemhard's little brother. I don't know his first name.
Ryan Nemhard.
And then finally, I just wanted to shout out Big Guy University, Kyle's alma mater.
True.
These guys are so fucking big that Kyle is their twink. Kyle is like, I know you can't really tell from the camera, but Kyle's like 6'2". He's a pretty.
He's a tall fella, but these are some big guys.
Yeah, they big guys. Like Kyle's their twink.
Yeah,
So,
you know they're dunking on him all day in multiple different ways.
Especially under the covers after
getting
the
super
podcast.
sweaty. Yeah.
And under his sheets.
What can I do anymore?
Wet.
I don't know, maybe stop letting big dudes under your sheets.
Yeah. It's a behavior thing, dude. All right. Just give me some time. Because we know what's about to happen.
Boo is right.
Let's
Michigan
go,
State.
Wolverines.
Let's be clear. Sorry, I forgot. Big Ten champion Michigan State Spartans.
Not going to be Big
Regular
Ten
season
tournament champions.
Regular season.
Regular
I
season
believe
champions.
the Purdue Boilermakers are going to be.
I do
Oh,
too.
well,
I believe that too.
But so currently, Michigan State is slated to enter the bracket as a 2 seed. I would expect them to enter as either a 2 or a 3. I wouldn't see them dropping lower than a 4 seed. But that would give them a 15-2 matchup followed by either playing a 7 or a 10. And Michigan State has spent a lot of time the last couple of years being on the other side of those matchups, being the 7 or being the 10 or being the 11 and having those underdog routes to get to the second weekend. This Michigan State team plays some of the most ferocious defense I have ever seen, especially from the wing and guard positions. Their perimeter defense, they play fast and they switch everything. They say if you are going to beat us, it's going to be your big man who beats us. Case in point, if you look at the Michigan game that they just played to lock down their regular season championship, the 2 biggest contributors for Michigan were Vlad Golden and I forget the other dude, 2 big white motherfuckers. And that's just kind of how Michigan State plays basketball. In the paint, they love contesting, but they're not going to, or trying to deny you from getting the ball in the paint in the first place. If you get post position on them, their post defense non-help is not kind of great. If you can keep them one-on-one, you can threaten them in the paint, but Cohen Carr can jump out the building. Trey Holloman recently has been really good from 3. They have a couple of good guys who can drive to the basket and get fouls and make shots when need be. Looking at Frankie Fiddler and Jeremy Fears Jr. And then they
Jace
have kind of
Richardson.
their wild card, who is Jace Richardson. Jace Richardson can score from anywhere on the floor. He's great in the mid-range. That's kind of where he makes a lot of his money, as well as cutting and driving. But he can make a jumper. He's great with the ball in his hands if you need some like self-creation for shots. And that's been Michigan State's biggest issue, is offensive inconsistency. Because either the offense looks great and they are running, they are cleaning glass, and the offense is moving in the fast break, or it is the most stagnant half-court offense you've seen in your whole life. They love to just pass it around the top of the perimeter for 15 seconds of the shot clock before starting a play. They have trouble dealing with zones sometimes, but I don't trust anybody more in the NCAA to make second half adjustments than Tom Izzo. They call him Mr. March for a reason. So if we see good offense from Michigan State, I don't see any reason that this team couldn't make at least the Final Four.
All right. Are you done jerking yourself off yet?
Hold up. Let me finish in 3, 2, 1. MSU's winning it all. Okay.
That's
go
probably
ahead.
your like 8th time
You
finishing
just
there.
busted a nut.
I was hoping that my positive comments about Michigan State would get you excited enough that you wouldn't go on a tirade like that, but alas.
Have you listened to this
No, it just got him
podcast?
started.
All I do is go on tirades.
I know. So
He's a frequent
let's talk
flyer.
about All-American point guard Braden Smith for a second. I
Let's
didn't
talk
get a
about
chance.
it.
I
Let's
didn't
talk
get a
about it.
chance to talk about my Purdue Boilermakers. So
Dude.
just want to point out that Matt Painter found success for the first time in his entire career to make it to a Final Four last year, and I fully expect him to be getting these boys in shape as we go into the Big Ten tournament. Hopefully, winning the whole thing, adding another banner to our rafters there in Mackey, and seeing guys like Braden Smith and Trey Kaufman-Renn really show out again. And then as we talk generally about, Big Ten, which of course has expanded this year for its first year, we're seeing a lot of Big Ten talent. We'll see if Maryland flubs, which I expect them to. I think it's kind of a fluke that they're at the 2 seed there in the Big Ten, finishing up. But super exciting stuff for the best conference in college basketball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I want to second the Braden Smith praise here, because I watched. Unfortunately, they ended up losing the game, but I was watching the replay of Purdue and Illinois, and he was on fire. He was electric, and my big worry for Purdue was how much of the offense was Edey dependent. How much of the other offensive, because they had good players, but we didn't know how, if they were going to be able to maintain that offensive production without the pressure in the paint that Zach Edey provided.
Braden Smith is just short. He's just short.
The answer is they did. And I don't think you could have asked for anything better for Purdue coming in this season. If I told Griffin at the beginning of this year, hey, your offense did not take a significant step back with the loss of Zach Edey, you would have been quite pleased with that.
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
I like this Purdue team. I think they are good. I just don't think they're better than Michigan State. That's it.
Yeah, I don't know too much about Braden Smith, but I was talking to my friend Griffin, who knows a lot more about college basketball than I do, and he says Braden Smith is pretty good. So, yeah, I'm gonna have to spread those flowers, share him with all of you guys, since obviously he can't be on the podcast.
Yeah,
He did just win Big Ten Player of the Year.
he did.
Did it for a reason.
He also recently had his Cybertruck towed from a campus parking lot, and there were photos all over people's stories about it.
We love that.
Pretty funny.
Ugly ass truck,
That's funny.
fucking ugly,
Purdue-
stupid ass fucking truck.
Purdue out here with 2 Big Ten first team players in Braden Smith and Trey Kaufman-Renn. I believe they were both unanimous selections to the first team. Which
As
is,
was
I mean,
John
it's really
Tonje.
good. Yes, John Tonje, also unanimous selection first team. Yeah, I mean, It shows in the awards, it shows in the records, it shows in the play, just like how Big Ten Coach of the Year is Tom Izzo. It shows in the play. And at least Griffin and I, though we have fun, poking fun at each other, we can both at least relish that we are still in the Big Ten tournament.
Okay.
Yep.
You know what?
Yep.
Minnesota, the University of Minnesota is the hardest job in college basketball to be the head coach of, because you get no recruits. You have a shitty stadium. I love the barn, but the barn is old and ugly and gross.
The barn could be a good atmosphere. It's got all the things it needs, including traditions, a higher floor.
Yeah.
They just don't get students that show up, and their team sucks.
And I don't even think that's fair to push on us saying that your teams are at the top of the Big Ten, because my team, Longwood, isn't even in the Big Ten.
Whatever. But, and again, the University of Minnesota coaching for basketball in particular is like one of the most high pressure jobs, because everybody wants your throat at every fucking moment of a basketball game, unless you win. And it's like, oh, you're cool for another day. And then it's right back to you need to lose your job. Every fucking Minnesota fan.
Ben Johnson has been at the helm for years and hasn't done shit. What are you talking about?
No,
everybody
just
wants
went to
his job.
Chicago.
Everybody wants to chop his head off. And they refuse to do it.
Because he still hasn't done shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
He
recognize
just
that.
went to Chicago to be their head coach.
Different Ben Johnson.
Yeah. But again, the
You're
University
just
of Minnesota
quoting the
is...
John K. tweet.
Yes. Shout out John K. I love John K.
I love John K. I love John K.
I love
as
John
much
K.
as next guy.
Love John K.
God bless John K.
But yeah, the University of Minnesota is a hockey school. It is a curling school. And it is sometimes a football school. And it was a football school back in like the 1930s.
And a dance and cheer school, Kyle. What the
Yes,
fuck?
it is. True.
Yeah.
National champions there. I also think we're like a random like esports school sometimes.
And a wrestling
Yes.
school.
Well, no, we don't talk about wrestling because the wrestler is creepy and gross and I hate him.
Fuck Gable Steveson. I'll say it first.
He's also old as shit. He's wrestling like 21-year-olds as like a 27-year-old.
Yeah, he's like a fucking elder.
Yeah. He's old as shit.
And he only got away with sexual assault because of an alcohol loophole.
Well,
Do
with
you
that,
sing that often?
Yeah.
with
That
that,
was like off the cuff.
with that beautiful melody, I think that's a perfect transition to one of the most consistent sections of our podcast. It's the one, the only. It's Cameron Gertenson's Album of the Week. Cameron, what have you got for us this week?
Today I'm going to be talking about A Season's End by Drugbug. This is definitely the smallest artist that I've covered on this segment so far. He only has about 2,500 monthly listeners on Spotify, which I think is pretty cool. I am happy to talk about smaller artists because there are a lot of people making great music out there. I don't have a ton of background on this album or this artist because they are pretty private. There's not a lot of background information out there, but we know that their name is Alex, a 21-year-old Canadian artist who's been making music since they were 14. Before they went by Drugbug to release solo music, they went by Star Starer and were a member of the band Willie Rodriguez, who makes indie rock music that's gotten a lot of like car seat headrest comparisons. A 2022 EP called Your Life Is Meaningless LOL is the only prior release they've done as a solo artist before A Season's End, which just came out 3 days ago. I found this. I think it was a Fantano subreddit. Someone just posted, "Oh hey, check out this album," and I was like, "Oh, that's cool cover art." Just based on the name and the cover, I was like, oh, this is going to be like a metalcore album. And then I looked at the song titles, which I'll get to, and I was like, oh, this is definitely a hyperpop album. No, it's definitely like an indie rock noise pop album. Very much in the vein of Car Seat Headrest. A lot of the vocals are distorted, compressed, and exaggerated, similar to Will Toledo's early Car Seat Headrest music. This whole album is super well mixed. All the instruments are very punchy and clear. A lot of the lyrical themes deal with love and loneliness, even though you can't hear the lyrics super well. Just to shout out a few tracks. The intro track is called Boy Kisser. We here at Bisportuals podcast are a big fan of that song title.
Just knocked your microphone.
It's just super punchy drums, cute little lead melody. The second song, Such a Thrill to Be With You Again, has like, I can't tell if it's horns or vocal layering in the chorus, but it sounds super cool and in a way where you can't tell which it is. Going later down the track list, Ampharos and Heartbreak. I like the breakdown in the end, but personally, if I'm dealing with heartbreak, Ampharos is not the Pokemon I would go to. He is kind of a silent, stoic type, but I would be thugging it out with my guy Bruxish. The song Took My Heart is probably my favorite on the album. The drums are so cool. Its chorus is super fun, upbeat, and there's a little bass solo in the outro that's fun. The closing track, A Season's End, is 7 minutes, and just the composition of it as a whole is super well done, very well written, just as a song from front to back. And then finally, the last song I wanted to talk about is track number 3. It's called Don't Talk to Me or I'll Kill Myself, with a little kissy emoticon. We here at Bisportuals are a big fan of the song title. And one of the lines in the song says, "Get the fuck off the keyboard and go play some Wii Sports." So I'm going to go do that. Bye, guys.
Hey, no!
It was nice having them.
Shit.
Rip.
How else are we going to do the outro now? This is a problem.
Shit. We're kind of relying on him for...
Yeah.
I mean, we got another guy here if we really want to.
I mean, I'd love to have Griffin the outro, but I don't think anybody can replicate the timbre that he brings. I mean, does someone call his agent? Can we get him?
Okay, wait, hold on.
Back in the...
I'm calling his mom.
I was going to say, that's who you should call.
All right. Do I have her contact saved? I don't have it. Fuck.
Because
I'll never contact that thing.
I didn't save it as a contact. I have her number. I have to find it. Give me a minute. I'm not actually going to call her.
No.
I feel bad. It's late. You know what else is late? Cameron's period. That's our third surprise in this podcast. He was going to announce his pregnancy.
You know what else
awesome.
is late? Kyle for his next appointment with a big guy.
No,
Yes.
okay,
Yes.
whatever.
I know
whatever.
you keep a tight schedule.
He also keeps it tight,
right.
so
No,
yeah.
that's not true.
Dude,
I'm not Liam.
That's a bump set spike right there. That's a bump set spike.
Yeah, you guys should just start your own podcast. You guys would have a blast.
Just a college basketball only podcast.
Yeah,
just like
where you
you're
just
having
argue.
a blast in bed with big men and getting blasted.
Griffin
Send me to the
gets it.
outro.
And
Griffin
getting,
gets it.
I don't want to be
Griffin
here
getting
anymore.
gets it.
blasted by big men.
I don't want to be here
Griffin
anymore. Send me to
just
the
gets
outro.
it. All right. Well, since it doesn't appear like Cameron's going to be coming back, I want to thank you all so much for taking the time out of your day to listen to our podcast. We really appreciate it. I hope you have a wonderful Friday if you're listening to this on release. I hope you have a wonderful weekend if you're listening it during the weekend. Or if you're listening to it during the week, I hope you have a wonderful week. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. And we will see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye. 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 Go follow us on social media.